You're not going to do it. You're never going to claim it. I don't know how I'm ever going to actually get from here to there. I felt useless and I felt this big and I felt humiliated when I cried and I cried and I cried. We all have gaps and I have gaps too, and they shift depending upon life's circumstance. Today is about closing the gap. It's about closing the gap from where you are to where you actually want to be. Because through our awareness intention, it's all possible. Because from that place, we can act. Sometimes innocently as women, we can beat ourselves up, be hard on ourselves. Oh my gosh, there's nobody that's ever been harder on me than I've been. Who can relate to at times being hard on yourself or blaming yourself or beating yourself up for what is or isn't happening in your life? And how many of you thought, like, in moments, this gap is too freaking big? I don't know if I can do this. Yes, me too. Because the truth is, we all have gaps, and I have gaps too. And they shift depending upon life's circumstance and the context of life, of what is happening. And this is exactly the eternal or internal conflict that we're talking about. When one part of you wants to grow, but the other part of mind is saying, you're not going to do it. You're never going to claim it. I don't know how I'm ever going to actually get from here to there. And I've had so many experiences of this in my own life. You know, it's funny because I've seen many of you through posts or people coming up and saying, you know, Sage, you're such an elegant communicator. I was not always who I am here now today. And I'll give you a little story. Tony and I were together for maybe about a year and a half. And we were at a life mastery program in Hawaii. And this was the first time he ever was, asking me to come on stage and speak. At that stage of my life, I was into health and natural healing, and so he wanted me to share my story with the audience. And his team, his creative team, they created this syntax, and a syntax is really the flow and the structure of the day. If I remember correctly, it was probably 6 or 8 pages long, and I remember looking at it and feeling, what the heck, I can't do this. And I got so in my mind, and I terrified myself with literally the internal mantra of, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. And the more I read the syntax, the more I felt overwhelmed. So it's maybe about 5-10 minutes before Tony's, calling me out on stage. And I was like, I can't even look at this anymore. I was getting so overwhelmed. And I remember when I heard my name, and Tony introduced me. There was probably 2,500 humans in the room. And I stood on that stage. And you guys, I couldn't even tell you my name. Like, I literally froze. I couldn't speak. Tony literally was, and I went out and I just looked. And I was looking at people. And I was feeling what I was feeling, projected what they were believing and thinking. And I felt useless. And I felt this big. And I felt humiliated. And I thought to myself, I am never in my lifetime ever again standing on stage or sharing or speaking. I was mortified. Tony was so generous. He'd asked a question which helped me to kind of find my words or even what I was thinking. And the venue itself was in a hotel. And so after I got off stage, I went to the hotel and I cried and I cried and I cried. And, then there was no more tears. And I was thinking, I have to frickin' go out and face these people. Like, there was nowhere to go. We were in the middle of the event. I think it was like day 2. There was 4 more days. And I felt so stripped. I felt so small. I felt so even dumb. Like, I was like, why couldn't I even think of my name? Never mind anything to even share. And so I thought to myself, you know what, Bonnie Pearl, you just go out there and you hold your head up high. And I walked out into the crowd and I was so blown away by the warmth and the kindness of human beings. And this woman came up to me. Her name was Kim Shaw. Kim, if you're joining right now, I don't know. She's in Australia. She might even be watching right now. And she probably never had a clue of how her kindness what it meant to me. She passed me a note, and I don't even remember the exact contents, but I remember what I felt. I remember reading her words, and it said something like, I see you. And I felt seen by her. I felt her love. I felt her support. We didn't even know each other. And it wasn't because of what I did. She felt me, and like we feel one another here. It's beautiful to see one another. And I look back at that period of time with, a little more wisdom and a little more grace. And I recognize that humiliation, rejection, all the things that we resist to feel and to experience, I recognized how much it shaped me. The opposite, or not the opposite, but I suppose like the other pole of humiliation, it's a humbleness. It's humbleness to be grounded in who we are. And it has so shaped how I relate to you today, how I show up on stage at this stage of my life. And long story short, I'm just here to share with you that I've come a long way, and I continue to close the gaps. And I've been closing gaps literally my own doubts or limitation of the mind, all the stories. I don't know if I can do this. Here's the truth of it. It starts with each of us saying, enough of this. Enough of this, enough of us being in our story and our limits, and taking responsibility and claiming our life and taking responsibility for our experience of life. Because as we evolve and recognize, like, I haven't always been this woman. I haven't always been this woman. The essence of me, yes, I'm still in there. I was her when I was that 26-year-old girl standing on stage. But the evolution and the growth and the willingness, life is certainly not a straight line. And I'm blown away by just day to day how life continues to have its way with us, and specifically how life continues to have its way with me. We're all not so different, We're all in this human experience. We all feel fearful. We all get scared shitless. Part of my French. We feel overwhelmed. We feel like I can't do it. We feel rejected. We feel humiliated. And yet there's this beautiful essence and spirit and the soul and the heart of who we are that has guided us. It just blows my mind. And I have fallen in love with each and every one of you, this process, and all these beautiful people that have made this moment happen. I'm just truly so grateful.